Hey, I'm Dee. I have been car camping in my Hyundai Santa Fe for the last 2.5 years. And today I want to talk about something that one of the amazing subscribers here at Dee's Roads had a question about. And this is something that's been on my mind that I did want to talk to you all about, or at least give you my perspective. But I didn't know if anybody wanted to hear it, honestly. So once I saw that that question was asked, I said, you know what? People do want to know and people are interested, so I figured we'd give it a shot today. This video is going to be all about balancing family life, yet still having the ability to be able to solo car camp or solo travel even, and kind of, I think what a lot of people feel, especially in situations when there are maybe younger children at home, and this can apply if you're, a woman or a man, you might feel a sense of guilt, like, or, I'm going out and I'm doing these things and I'm leaving my family behind. And sometimes that can give us a sense of guilt. And what I will say is there always has to be a balance. Anyway, for my family, my husband and I, and my little one who's still at home, he's elementary school age. For us, it's important to have a balance. So today's video is going to be dedicated to that topic. How do you maintain balance in your family situation, but still make the time to be able to do the things that you truly enjoy, and to give yourself some time alone to be in your thoughts, to take care of yourself, while still taking care of your family and not feeling guilty for taking care of yourself. And that's something that I really want to spend some time on in this video, is self-care. So I think for a long time, and I know probably for my generation, I'm in my 40s, and for folks older than I am, there wasn't a thing, self-care wasn't a thing. So it wasn't like, it wasn't really talked about, I don't think, that much. There weren't shows on it, you couldn't look on YouTube and see anything about self-care. But I do think it's important. And I think a lot of times we get wrapped up in, I have to take care of this person, I have to take care of that person, I have to take care of the home, I have to, do all these tasks and chores and things. So a little background so you know where I'm coming from. Before I got married to my husband, I was a single mother to my 2 daughters for a very long time, probably somewhere around the area of 10 years. And during that time, I really didn't get a chance to kind of pay attention to my needs, what I needed to do for myself to be okay, to be healthy for my daughters. When you're a single parent, there's not that other parent there that's able to carry some of the weight of being a parent, making sure the home is taken care of, that it's clean, that there's food on the table, that, grocery shopping happens, that the kids get back and forth to school, that they have clothes to wear to school, that they get back and forth from any after school activities that they do, extracurricular activities that they do. So I think especially when you're a single parent, you're really focused on making sure your kids are getting what they need, and you're working a lot because, you're the only income coming into the home to help raise your children. And it's very easy, even in those times where, like my girls would go to my grandparents' house for a week, or they would go spend time with my mom. My sister, my brother, they were definitely helpful when I was raising my 2 girls as a single mom. And when those times did come where, they would go spend time with family members, I didn't know that I should have probably used that time to take care of myself, to give myself time to hear my own thoughts. And I should have. If I would have done that, I probably would have been a better mom to my girls. I'm almost certain of it. But instead, what I would do is I would take that time to run errands, go to the grocery store with no kids, clean the house when the kids weren't around. I would do things like that. And those things didn't fulfill me really. I mean, it felt great knowing that my house is clean and, there's groceries, of course, yes. But I mean deeper than that. I mean, taking care of me, making sure, like I said before, that I could hear my own thoughts, that I could think about, what the future would look for me and for my children and, things like that. Anyway, basically what I'm saying is all of that led to me where I am now, where I realized self-care is extremely important. If I would have spent some time, the little bit of time that I did have as a single mom, to really take the time to take care of myself, I would have been a better person for it. And I would have been a better mom for it. I probably wouldn't have been as grumpy. So I say all of that to say, now I know what self-care is and how important it really is. I would say it's vital. So what I'm saying is, if there are things that you want to do to take care of yourself so you can be a better you, do your best to find a way to do those things. It might be grabbing that fancy latte, and sitting in a cafe and people watching, for 2 hours. Because sometimes maybe all you have is 2 hours. Maybe all you have is 30 minutes of free time. Take that time to do something that you enjoy. That is self-care. That is taking care of yourself. It gives you time to collect your thoughts. For some people, it could be taking one day each week, and doing like, I don't know, a nail spa, sitting on a bench in a park somewhere, whatever it is for you. Or it could be taking 2 days each month to do some solo car camping to help you get out into nature, help you reflect, help you appreciate what you do have around you. Because it's not all about me, but it's also about taking some time and having that time to really acknowledge that there are great things going on in your life, and acknowledging even those little things that are really going great in your life. And when you have that time to yourself to collect your thoughts, to do what you truly enjoy without like breaking the bank, you can't send your family into debt. But when you have that time, you're a better person for it. It gives you time to reflect so you can be grateful for what, for the family that you do have at home, that you're going to come home to. It lifts up your spirits. At least I'm just saying this from my perspective. It lifts spirits. And when you're a happier person, you're happier for your family. The more joy you have, the more joy you can spread to your family. The second thing that I want to make a point to say is that my husband is supportive of that. So he gets me. He understands that this is something that I enjoy. I enjoy car camping. It makes me feel alive. It makes me feel peace. It makes me feel joy. I've mentioned before in another video that I am an introvert. Yeah. And in order to function, I have got to have that me time. For me, me time means alone time. And if I don't get that time, I cannot exhale. I cannot recharge my internal batteries. I don't have clarity. I can't decompress. I can't think. I can't be grateful for those in my life, or sometimes I'm less grateful for those in my life and those small joyous moments. I don't see those as often if I don't get that me time, that alone time to process. And that means I don't get time to reflect. And for me, it's very important to process and reflect. And if I let it get to a certain point, I'm a miserable person to be around. I don't want to be around me when I get to that point. So I don't want to be miserable. And that, being miserable just rubs off on other people. Now, yes, of course, my family brings me peace and joy, but it is a different type of peace and joy. If you can't, again, these are just my thoughts, my perceptions, my feelings, what works for me, what works for my family. If I can't bring joy to myself being alone, how can I expect somebody else to be able to bring me joy and me accept that joy, right? Like if I can't be happy by myself and with myself and sit with myself, other people can't do that for me, right? Like, yes, they bring added joy and happiness. But if I can't be happy and content with myself, I probably can't have, I might not have the gratitude or appreciation for those other people trying to bring me that joy, if that makes sense. Just like you love your kids in a different way that you love your spouse. You love your spouse in a different way that you love your kids. You love your parents in a different way than you love your spouse or your kids. It's a different type of love, and they all bring a different type of love. You give a different type of love. They bring a certain type of joy, and you give them a certain type of joy, right? Like, and that's the same thing with self-care, in my opinion. Maybe another way to say it is, I cannot be fulfilled by someone or something else if I can't fulfill my own self. So for our specific situation, in order for it to work, we compromise. We have an agreement on specific things. So for example, when I car camp, I don't do it when there are other things going on with the family. So say, for example, my son is into different sports activities. So, if I look at the calendar and I see there's weekends where I can't car camp because my son has activities, then I don't car camp those weekends. I spend that time with my family, with my son, with my husband, enjoying those activities. If my husband has something work related going on and he may have to be away, then of course I'm not going to go car camping. So really what it is we have a family calendar on our refrigerator, and we put up all the dates, where sports activities are going on, where I have to be certain places because of my job, or, to support my adult children, because I have 2 adult children, as you know, and also to support, of course, my little elementary age son. Another thing, and it's something that I do. Like, I'm not gone for 2 days every single weekend. Like, I'm not gone every single weekend. To me, in my particular situation, that would not work for us. We still have to make time to spend together as a family, as a couple. We have to make time for those things, but we also have to make time for that individual solo time. There are other things that my husband and I have specific agreements on, because I know sometimes that could be a point of contention, when you're, you have a spouse, you have a partner. Of course, you'd be like, well, what are you doing? Where are you going to be at? I don't want you sleeping, at some random place in your vehicle all alone. And so that's where my husband and I have come to an agreement. He knows every step of the way when I go solo car camping where I am. We have check-in times, check-in points, hey, I'm at this destination. It's going to take me so-and-so, this much time to get to my next destination. He has also made sure that there are certain items that he has given me to protect myself. And he also feels better knowing that I have those items and I can use those items to protect myself. And there are also times when my son and I go car camping. I don't do things like sleep at a Cracker Barrel, stealth camping. I don't do things like that when it's my son and I solo car camping. And those types of situations where he does come with me, we go to campgrounds. And that's just because, that's an agreement that my husband and I have come to in order for him to be comfortable, and actually for me to be comfortable too with having my child with me car camping. It's not like this is a big old RV, this is a SUV. I feel safer, my husband feels safer if it's just me and my son. Then I'm going to a campground and I'll car camp at a campground where we have our decoy tent set up, where we have a cell phone signal. Those things are important. So my husband and I, we have our own agreement and understanding about how much time is appropriate for me to go solo car camping. Same with how much time is appropriate for him to go and do the things that he also enjoys to do as well. And then the time that we spend together as a couple and as a family. Something was mentioned about mom guilt. And I'll tell you, when I go on the solo car camping trips, There are times where I do feel mom guilt, but then I have to remind myself, I have to take care of myself. I have to have something in my life that I enjoy to do, because your kids will grow up. They'll get older. They'll grow up. They'll go their own ways. Hopefully they still come around and visit you and hang out with you and call you, but they'll grow up. And then you have to figure out, oh, shish, what do I like to do? What can I get into that I enjoy? So anyway, you can't lose yourself. It's important for you to still do the things that you enjoy and that make you who you are and that bring you peace and joy and that give you peace of mind. That's still very important. And again, these are just my opinions. Take it for what it's worth. I think that's very important. Like I said, I'll take 2 days out of a month to do car camping. And sometimes there are, months where we have so much going on that I can't take 2 days. And in that situation, maybe I can take 1 day and I'll stay closer to home. Maybe it's only 2-3 hours away from home, but I still need that 1 day or even that one night just to myself, out in nature, enjoying nature. That's something that I need. So yeah, I'll feel that mom guilt, and I have to remind myself, push it to the side. I'm not out here selfishly gone away from my family, every single weekend or for a week or two at a time or, nothing like that. Usually if I do take those long trips, usually one of my children, usually my son, is with me. And the only reason my husband doesn't come car camping is because, like I've mentioned before, he can't fit in here. He's 6'5". He can't. And it's not necessarily his thing either, but I do think if I had a big van, like, if we had a Dodge ProMaster, I bet you he would come. I think he would come. And another thing that I want to point out too is that, in my opinion, I think it's good for children to have alone time, quality time, solo time with each parent independently of each other. So of course it's always good to have that good time where everybody's together as a family. I think it's also very good bonding time when it's their mom and their child spending some time together, when it's the father and the child spending some time together independent of the spouse or the partner. I think that is very important. I know for myself, I have long life lasting memories and bonding moments with people in my family when I've spent that solo alone time with them. And like I said, there's a balance. You have to make sure you get in the solo time for yourself, the solo time with your kids, the solo time with your partner, then family time. So I'll get into the two things that we make sure we do to make sure that it works for us. So yeah, let me go into the calendars for more depth, and I have notes on my iPad. That way I don't forget to mention certain things, okay? So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing to make sure that I don't forget to mention key points that I want to make sure you all hear, that I think are important for this particular video. So what I do is I look at my son's school calendar, and as soon as the calendar for the year comes out, I look at that calendar and I take all those dates where he's going to be off of school, where there's like a half day of school. I put those dates on the calendar. Then I do the same thing for my college age daughter, because she is 12 hours away from where we live. And part of my car camping journey also involves going to go pick her up and visit her and bring her back home from college, when she has her breaks and stuff like that. So that is fit into my car camping journey, because when I'm able to go down and visit her in Georgia, I use that as an opportunity to car camp, because I get to spend the day with her, but then at night I get to car camp, which I enjoy. So it's a win-win. Anyway, so then we do the same thing as far as sports activities that the family's involved in, work activities that we have to do, or if there's any travel involved with work. All those things go on the calendar. And I take all of that information on that calendar. I look at that calendar and I say, okay, what weekend is the best weekend for me where I can go solo car camping? Are there any weekends in there where my son and I can go car camping? Are there any weeks in there where other people in our family can go car camping? Or are there specific weekends or times or days that, you know, it's not going to work. Then I don't plan trips for those times. And if I see there's a long gap, so let's say, for example, let's say, like February, for example, we had a lot of stuff going on and it wasn't really, a lot of time for me to car camp. So, you know, what I did instead was what I'm doing right now. This is just one day out of the month that I'm taking. I'm not even spending the night at this location or any other location. I'm about 2 hours away from home. I enjoyed some nature earlier today. I didn't film because I needed that time to myself. And now I'm in a Home Depot parking lot. And you'll find out why very soon. So you'll have to keep watching these videos. Oh, there's a plug. You'll have to keep watching these videos to find out why I'm at Home Depot, because it does relate to car camping and solo car camping. But yeah, so there are times where it's like, okay, in this whole month of February, there's not a good time for me to go car camping. So I'll take one day out, during a weekend and do my thing. And then the second thing is locations. So calendars and locations. So if it's a weekend where I know maybe I need to stick closer to home, then I will pick a location that's within, you know, 4 or 5 hours driving where I can easily get back home. If it's something where it's a one-day trip, I might go an hour away. I might go 3 hours away. It just depends on how I'm feeling. So I pick locations that work with our calendars. That way, you know, like for example, if my son has a 3 or a 4 day weekend, well, I can take him on that trip, you know, and we can go and we can, I don't know, we can go to our home base is in Maryland. So let's say we can go to North Carolina, you know, we can go to South Carolina for the weekend, because we have those 3 or 4 days. So yeah, just picking the time and locations that suit the needs, yeah, where you can still go camping, whether it's solo camping or not. But yeah, that's really how we do it. We come to an agreement, we come to an understanding. You know, there's mutual agreement, mutual understanding. We look at the calendars, we look at the locations. We have rules set in place of things that I will and won't do when I'm car camping. And that's how it's worked for us for the last 2.5 years. Yeah. All right, let me show you where I am. So I am in the Home Depot parking lot. And you'll find out why very soon. You won't have to wait much longer, but you'll find out very soon. I thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I hope this is helpful in some way. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't subscribed, hey, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? You know what to do. Subscribe, like, if you want to. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Thank you to everyone who's stuck around with me the last few months on this journey. I've been car camping for 2.5 years, but I just started this channel in September of 2023, so not even a year yet. I think it's doing great. Thank you for all your support, and I will see you next week. Have a great week and enjoy the journey and find some time for yourself. Enjoy the joy in your life. Be grateful, and I will see you all next time. Bye.